Good morning. Let's start the daily current affairs discussion. ଉପରେ ଦେବାଶିଷ ବାବୁ ଅଛନ୍ତି କହିଲେ କଥା ହେବି। Okay. So the first topic that we'll take today is how excess rain in March would affect the wheat crop in India. Okay, this is the time for the wheat crop in India, and because there is rainfall around the country that was held that took place in the month of March, what is going to be its impact on the wheat crop production? In 21, 22 and 2023 have both seen unusual rabi cropping seasons, okay, in terms of weather and yield loss, especially in wheat. But the pattern of rainfall and temperature variation and the damage to the standing crop as a result have been different in two seasons. Although rainfall normally affects the rabi crop, especially wheat, but this severe rainfall in the last 2 years has affected it more severely, and this year the rainfall, which is more severe than the previous years, is being forecasted that this will affect further. Okay. In 2022 season was marked by two such rain. The country received rainfall that is way above the normal long period average in every month of September 2021 to January 2020. This was followed by the hottest ever March in terms of average maximum temperatures. The unusual heat of March 2022 led to lower wheat production, and the spike in the temperature happened during the grain formation and filling stage, when the kernel were accumulating starch and proteins. That stage, which determines the size and the weight of the harvested grains, was cut short with maximum temperature crossing 35 degrees Celsius by mid-March. While the Agriculture Ministry claimed in 2022 wheat output was 107.74 million tons, a marginal decline of 1.7% from the all-time high of 109.59 million metric ton in 2021. The private trade estimated the crop to be the lower by 10 to 15% at 93 to 98 metric ton. Okay, so government report says something and the private procurement report says something, but definitely what is almost sure is that there is a fall in production of wheat, and that was because of the spike in the temperature followed by the rain. Okay, this was burned out by the government's own procurement falling to 18.79 metric ton as against 43.34 metric ton in the previous marketing season, and wholesale wheat inflation crossing 20% year to year by December, even after a ban on export. So right now wheat export has been banned in the country, but still, due to fall in production, the domestic price of wheat has increased considerably. If 21-22 was largely wet with 5 consecutive months of excess surplus rain, in 22-23 was quite the opposite. The winter was exceptionally dry, with the 4 months from November 2022 to February 2023 registering deficit rainfall. February 2023 not only recorded 68.3% below normal rain, it was also the hottest ever February in terms of the average maximum temperature, just as March was in 2022. Given how hot and dry February was, it was not unusual to expect March 2022 to be repeated in not exceeded. The India Meteorological Department in February 28 forecast both maximum and minimum temperature for March 2023 to be above normal over most part of the country. Its monthly outlook for March also predicted average rainfall over the country to be normal and below normal over most areas of northwest and west central India and some part of east and northeast India. That means heat will be there, although rainfall is somewhere occurring. Okay, but heat increase was definitely forecasted by the IMD. Okay, you see, this is the All India rainfall. Okay, so this is February, March, and this is the fall in the things. Okay, this is for the 2021, this is for 22-23. Fine. Okay, rainfall pattern. But March turned out to be neither hot nor dry. In 2022, the maximum temperature in Delhi hit 35 degree in March 15th, 38 degree in March 20th, and 40 degree in March 30th. This year, 2023, the highest was 34 degree on March 12th and 15th, and the maximum on March 31st was 26 degree. So you see, there is a fall from 34 degree to 26 degree, and that was because of the rainfall. And right now, even Delhi is going through regular rainfall since nearly a week. Okay. The surprise element was rain, a 25.8% plus in March 2023. But when the first half of March reported 77.6% deficit rainfall, the second half saw 120.5% surplus. The so-called ideas of March, seen in the heat wave, that forced premature ripening and drying of the wheat crop in 2022 manifested itself in the form of unseasonal rain this year. Will the rain affect wheat yields? Wheat is sensitive to both heat and stress and rain, thunderstorm during the terminal grain filling and ripening period. This is the time when the crops year head are heavy with grains. The more of the weight accumulated from the grain filling, the more vulnerable the crop to rain. These, when accompanied by high velocity wind, make the stem prone to lodging or bending and even falling flat on the ground. Okay, either they bend or they that or even loading. Okay, then lodging or bending or even falling flat on the ground. The entire crop fall flat on the ground by the wind and the rainfall. The crop flattened by the first rain did not get chance to revive. So if it is fall by the first rain, so the chances of it reviving again and standing is very less. The yield losses are likely to be highest in area that saw waterlogging and hailstorm. Okay, if after falling there is waterlogging or there is hailstorm witnessed in the area, it affect the wheat productivity. The yield losses were likely to be highest in area that saw waterlogging and hail. The most grain from even the fully matured crop here may suffer discoloration and lost or losses with poor milling quality. Once they are affected by this factor, so the quality of the grain suffered, and neither they have look is affected, so also its quality. Okay, when the crop get wet and then dries in the sun, its earheads bearing the grains become brittle and tend to break from the stem. Such earhead may not be picked up by the combine harvester machines. Once it is bent and broke from the stem, so the combine harvester, which is mainly used in harvesting wheat in Punjab, is unable to pick it. So they are damaged, lost in the field. Loading of wheat has taken place mostly after March 22nd, by which time grain filling was nearly complete for the crop sown before mid-November in much of Punjab and Haryana. While the wheat in Madhya Pradesh was harvested ready by mid-March itself, the crop sown in December in eastern Uttar Pradesh and Bihar may even benefit from the current rain that has brought down temperature and prolonged the time for grain filling. Some area this rainfall is good, and in some area this rainfall has already affected the quality of the wheat to be produced. Okay, so it has so taking different area into consideration. So its impact is different. Okay, so would wheat price go if production falls? It is unlikely because wheat price at the Chicago Board of Trade Futures exchange are now at just over $254 per ton compared to 500 plus peak that escalated last March. So right now the price is half. Okay, in 2022, failed domestic crop came at a time when global commodity prices were on fire following Russian invasion of Ukraine. Because Russia and Ukraine, both major supplier wheat, especially Ukraine being a major supplier, the war started there. There is a peak in the price of wheat around the world. The world has since overcome the effect of the war, with the unlikeliest possibility of India's wheat output falling to the 21-22 level or lower. Resurgence of serial inflation look improbable. That means the price should not go much above what it is at present, because so even we can depend upon import from outside. You see, the Black Sea Green Initiative. Okay, so during this ongoing war, the Black Sea Green Initiative was launched under the UN supervision, by which so wheat from Ukraine was exported to outside the world. So as the war is being prolonged, so its its impact on the food supply of the world is going down, and some sort of export options are right now being explored, and this is why so the fall in production in India due to the climate change or the rain and the heat is not going to affect the price to that an extent. Even if there is a fall in production, so the threat will not aggravate to that an extent as it is being projected right now. Fine. That is what is being discussed. So this is not going to be so severe a problem. Although a vast country like India, falling production is itself a problem, but it's not going to face or make the problem so acute. Okay, so that is why so the challenge can be taken into consideration, and we can ensure that the price as it is standing at present will be somehow like that, and a further spike is not being predicted. Fine. Then coming to the next topic, the Project Tiger Reserve. Recently, the Bandipur completed 50 years of Project Tiger Reserve. Okay. So, a particular Project Tiger, Bandipur completed 50 years of being declared as a Project Tiger. Fine. Okay. So Bandipur was the first nine reserve to be brought under the flagship program of Project Tiger 1973. It included most area that are already a protected area as Venugopal Wildlife Park. It is situated in two contiguous districts of Madhya Pradesh, Mysore and Chamarajnagar of Karnataka. It is located at a tri-junction area of the state of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Okay, so tri-junction of three states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. So this is very peculiar because it is located at the tri-junction of three different states. The Bandipur Tiger Reserve is an important component of the country's first biosphere reserve, Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, and the landscape spanning Bandipur, Nagarhole, Mudumalai, and Oyavan complex is home not only to the large number of tigers in the country but also to the largest Asian elephant population. It lies in one of the richest biodiversity area of the country. It is surrounded by the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve of Tamil Nadu in the south, interlinked. Oyavan Wildlife Sanctuary, Kerala, and the southeast, and the Kabini Reserve separate the Bandipur and the Nagarhole Tiger Reserve on the northwest. Okay. So Project Tiger was a project launched by Government of India. Okay, by the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay, for the protection of preservation of the different species of flora and fauna. Project Tiger was launched by the Indira Gandhi government in 1973 from the Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand. Okay, this is in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, and it was only to protect the wildcat in their wilderness. Okay, because India is among the few tiger-rich countries in the world. Okay, and India want to protect its wildcat to the Project Tiger with an ambitious aim increasing the population of tiger in the country. The initial reserve cover under Project Tiger were Jim Corbett, Manas, Ranthambore, Similpan, Bandipur, Palamau, Sundarban, then Malghat, and Kanha National Park, and it has increased to more than 53 at present. Fine. From 9 tiger reserves since its formative years, the Project Tiger plus 54 at present, spread over out in 18 of our tiger range states. Like in Odisha, we have the first one at Similpan, then we have Sunabeda, then we have Tiger Reserve. Okay, so three tiger reserves. Okay, one is Similpan, one is Sarkosia, one is Sunabeda in Odisha. The tiger reserves are constructed on a core buffer strategy. Core area have the legal status of a national park or a sanctuary, whereas buffer or peripheral area are mix of forest and non-forest land managed as a multiple use area. In the core and buffer area, so human activity is strictly prohibited. Okay. Government initiative, the government has set up the Tiger Protection Force to combat poachers and funded relocation of villages to minimize human tiger conflicts. National Tiger Conservation Authority was established in 2005 following a recommendation of the Tiger Task Force, recognized management of Project Tiger and the many tiger reserves in India. It is the overarching body for conservation of tigers in India. Various centrally sponsored schemes such as Project Tiger and the Integrated Development of Wildlife Habitats provide financial and technical assistance to states. 54 tiger reserves in India generate approximately 4.3 million mandates of employment, and funds from the Compensatory Operation Fund Management and Planning Authority (CAMPA) are being used to promote voluntary village resettlement from core area to the of the tiger reserve, because there are some tribal hamlets or tribal villages located in the core area of the Project Tiger, and the Kampa fund is being utilized to relocate these villages from the core villages from the core area of the tiger reserve to the peripheral area, so the tiger can have their own habitat in its pristine natural setup and without any interference. Okay, so this can be maintained. That is why it is right now being maintained, that this Kampa fund is utilized for the resettlement of this Project Tiger areas. Fine. Then increase punishment for offences involving tiger reserve or its core areas, increase anti-poaching activity, including a special strategy for monsoon patrolling, state level steering committee chaired by the chief ministers, as well as the establishment of the Tiger Conservation Foundation. Conclusion: the Project Tiger has been undertaken by more than 50 national parks, and every park is putting an equal effort to save the endangered species. And that is the reason why, so the number which has fallen drastically in 2014 has doubled by 2023. Okay, the number of tiger population fortunately has doubled within a span of very less than 1 decade, and that is possible by the sincere effort made by the government and the wildlife persons or the advocacy of the wildlife, and even the public's involvement in protecting the wild cat has resulted in increasing number of the wild cat in India. And India is recognized as one of the very few countries in the world, those who have called as the tiger rich countries. Okay, so people have become more aware about the wildlife problems and have taken steps to stop them from decreasing. Project Tiger also generated job for many individuals directly and indirectly. Right. Then the next topic is an economic topic, and it is related to de-dollarization. Since the Second World War, as the world became more capitalist, okay, and with the 21st century, dollar of USA became the dominant currency, and 65% of the world trade is in dollar. It was conducted in dollar. But rising American hegemony and emergence of China and the Russia-China combined, okay, is right now emerging as a big challenge, and many other countries are also trying to detach themselves from the dollar and dollarization of the economy and their excessive dependence on dollar for their export and import. And India is also in this race, because India is trying to means although it has a good relation with USA, but it's still being a major importer in the world, is signing agreement with countries from where it is importing in their own currency to reduce its excessive dependence on the American dollar. That is called the de-dollarization. India and Malaysia have agreed to settle trade in Indian rupee, which indicates that India is willing to take concrete steps towards de-dollarization of its international trade. The Union Bank of India has become the first bank in India to operationalize this option by opening a special rupee booster account through its corresponding bank in Malaysia, India International Bank of Malaysia. Trade between India and Malaysia can now be settled in Indian rupee in addition to the current mode of settlement in other currencies. This initiative by RBI is aimed at facilitating the growth of global trade and to support the interest of the global trading community in Indian rupees. Trading in US dollar has faced growing difficulties, especially after the Russian economy was sanctioned by the Western powers. Okay, so The trade in normally, so US dollar is a major item of trading globally, and in the aftermath of the Russia-Ukraine war, so the other global community started imposing sanctions on Russia. So there is a shift from global shift in trading in the Russia, that in American dollar, and more countries are shifting to different arrangements. Okay. As a fallout of the sanctions and war making, payment to Russia in US dollar became increasingly difficult, which in turn triggered a search for solution in national currency and de-dollarization worldwide. It's not only India but globally. Okay, so they started searching for alternatives. Okay, so as a fallout of the sanctions and war making, payment to Russia and US dollar become increasingly difficult, which in turn triggered a search for solutions in national currency and de-dollarization worldwide. India-Malaysia trade, the India-Malaysia bilateral trade touched 19.4 billion in 2021-22. Malaysia is the third largest trading partner of India in the ASEAN region after Singapore and Indonesia, that accounts for 30 billion and 26.1 billion trade between the two countries separately. But in the de-dollarization, this refers to the process of reducing the reliance on the US dollar as a means of international trade and investment, and moving towards using their own currencies for their alternatives. While the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict, many countries are beginning to explore the possibility of moving away from the dollar for trade purposes, raising concern about the future dominance of the currency. Fine. According to this International Monetary Fund's currency composition of official foreign exchange reserve survey, the share of reserves held in US dollar by central bank fell to 71% in 1990 to 59% in 2020. That means, so the dollar saved by other country is on a falling trend, because countries are not saving, keeping their foreign exchange reserve in dollar, but trying to find other way out. Fine. That is why, so this process is called as the process of de-dollarization, which is underway right now. Okay, so the de-dollarization by several central banks is imminent, driven by the desire to insulate them from geopolitical risk. And the status of US dollar as a reserve currency can be used as an offensive weapon. Thus, the war in Ukraine and the subsequent economic sanction will trigger central bank to increase their dependency on the greenback. Efforts are already underway for the possible introduction of new Russian-China payment system bypassing the SWIFT and combining the Russian system for transfer of financial message with the Chinese CIPS cross-border interbank payment system. Both Russia and China have developed their own mechanism for this, and they are being made more popular right now. More and more countries are joining this. Okay, so efforts are already underway. The notion of de-dollarizing sit well in the thought experiment of a multipolar world where each country will look to enjoy economic autonomy in the sphere of monetary policy. Which country are de-dollarizing? Leading geopolitical adversaries of the US, Russia, and China have already started this process of de-dollarization. Country, so Russia and China. So they have started going beyond dollars, right? Then other smaller powers are also joining ranks. India has also had to work out alternative arrangements, including a barter agreements with certain sanctioned country in the past. With the rupee ruble agreement we have with China, with Japan, uh, with Russia, with Japan, and with so many other countries. We have started our bilateral agreement to deal with without depending on the dollar. Right. What Russia has done in this direction, Russia has started its three-pronged efforts towards de-dollarization in 2014 when sanctions were imposed on it for the annexation of Crimea. Russia reduced its share of dollar-denominated assets to about 16% in 2021. It reduced its share of trade conducted in USD by prioritizing national currency in bilateral trade. The use of US dollar in Russia's export to BRICS crashed from about 95% in 2013 to less than 10% in 2020. See, Russia has started the first calculated efforts in this direction. Russia also developed a national electronic payment system called MIR in 2015 after several payment processing firms denied service to Russian banks. The China has done in this direction. China aimed to use trading platform and its digital currency to promote de-dollarization. China has established the RBM trading centers in Hong Kong, Singapore, and Europe. In 2021, the People's Bank of China submitted a global sovereign digital currency governance proposal at the Bank of International Settlement (BIS) at Basel in Switzerland to influence global financial rules via its digital currency, the EU1. The IMF has already added yuan to the SDR, the Children Right Basket, in 2016. Right now, the SDR basket has five currency: the American dollar, the England's pound, the European euro, the Japanese yen, and along with that, the Chinese yuan are also being added to this. Right. In 2017, the European Central Bank exchanged Euro 500 million worth of its forex reserve into yuan denominated securities. However, the lack of full convertibility, RBM convertibility, will hinder China's de-dollarization ambition because it has not yet been fully accepted as the international currency. What? The Chinese currency. How the dollar cemented its position in the global market. What made the dollar to be so strong in the global market over the years? Because dollar is most widely accepted currency in this market, and that is called the policy of dollarization. Okay, so how dollar make it so So currently about 60% of the foreign exchange reserve central bank and other 70% of the global trading is conducted using USD. The association of the USD as it helps haven asset also has a psychological angle to it, and like old habits, people continue to view the currency as a relatively risk-free asset because US being the dominant economy in the world. Given this psychological bias, the world will continue to prefer the USD as a store of value and a medium of exchange, fulfilling the basic function of money. Okay, because since more than 100 years, so people around the world they believe in. Okay, that dollar being the strongest currency in the world, and this belief will continue for some more years to come. It's not that easy that other currency will be able to reduce dollar and so easy and way out. Okay, no doubt this will be possible, but it's not that easy that all on a sudden so other will be able to take over the uh, position of dollar as an international currency so easily. Fine. Additionally, short-term dumping of dollar assets by adversarial central bank will also pose balance sheet risk to them, as it will erode the value of their overall dollar-denominated holdings. Thus, uh, despite triggers to the move away from the dollar, in reality, it will be a protracted process. Central bank are left with very few choices to change it. So no doubt there is a slight change in the habit of people and the country in changing, but it's not that certain that all will be happening so easily and they will be changing all on a sudden from the currency to dollar. Time will take. It will take time, so no doubt. But so it is not yet fully the most appropriate time that they'll be changing over to dollar so smoothly, and dollar from dollar so smoothly, and dollar will be replaced by the its other currency to that an extent. No doubt the process has been started, but it will take much more time to make dollar the replace dollar as an international currency by launching the other currency. No doubt the process has been started, and no doubt the some currency are becoming right now a little more stronger internationally, but the domination of dollar will continue still for some time, and unless a substantial portion is done right on those currencies. Then the next topic is Omega 3, the Bharat Dynamics Limited, the Government of India undertaking, has successfully conducted a field firing test of its latest third generation man portable anti-tank guided missile Omega 3. It is built by the Bharat Dynamics Limited. Omega 3 is a third generation fire and forget anti-tank guided missile designed and developed by the in-house R&D division of the Bharat Dynamics Limited. This indigenous missile has been developed on an Integrated Guided Missile Development Program (IGMDP). The whole missile system comes with a command launch unit, remote operation capability, and a tripod. Among three anti-tank guided missile boosts a fire and forget capability, requiring no external intervention following the launch. Once it is launched, it will not accept any international or any external intervention. Developed by the Bharat Dynamics Limited Research and Development Division, the missile also features a dual mode IIR seeker with a range of 200 to 2500 meters. Assisted by the Defense Research and Development Organization, OMOG 3 showcases a tandem warhead consisting of two separated explosive charges that are detonated in sequence. The first charge, known as the precursor charge, penetrates the target's armor, creating a hole for the second charge. The main charge to detonate inside, maximizing damage inflicted on the target. The use of the tandem warhead significantly enhances the missile's ability to defect heavily armored targets. The missile can be fired in the lock and before launch mode, and its anti-armor tandem whereas can penetrate in excess of 650 millimeter beyond the explosive reactive armor. Features: range 200 to 2500 meters, attack mode tough direct attack, man portable, tandem warhead with penetration in excess of 650 beyond explosive reactive armor. Dual mode imagine infrared seekers, aerodynamic and thrust vector control, smokeless signature free propulsion system, and soft launch. The anti-tank guided missile in India. Laser guided, the anti-tank guided missile indigenously developed by DRDO is employed a tandem high explosive anti-tank warhead to defect explosive reactive armor protected armor vehicles. Helena, maximum range of 7 kilometers, and has been designed and developed for integration on a weaponized version of the advanced light helicopter. Helena is the helicopter launch anti-tank missile called the Helena helicopter launch anti-tank missile. NAG is the third generation fire and forget missile developed for mechanized formations to engage heavily fortified enemy tanks. And this, when it comes to the helicopter launch version, it is called Helena. Okay, so then man a portable anti-tank guided missile, range of 2.5 kilometers with fire and forget and top attack capability for infantry use. Smart stand of anti-tank missiles is being developed for launch from the Mi-3 helicopters. So these are all anti-tank guided missiles under development by India indigenously, and India has done exceptional well. NAG, Helena, all these are the missiles developed by India in this category. Okay, then comes the COPE India exercise. The COPE India exercise between India and the US from April 10th to 21st will further enhance operational capability and interoperability between the two air forces. About the exercise, it is a bilateral exercise between the air forces of the two countries. The exercise comes amid India's continuing 3-year-long military confrontation with China in eastern Ladakh, as well as ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, which has seen Beijing and Moscow get into a tougher strategic clinch. The Indian Air Force will be fielding the French origin Rafale, Russia origin Sukhoi 30 Mk1, and the Indian Tejas aircraft fighters, as well as the airborne early warning and control planes. The C-17 Globemaster 3 strategic airlift aircraft and the AL-17B air refueler for the exercise. The US in turn will deploy F-15 Strike Eagle jets. Okay, and this scope India began in 2004 as a fighter training exercise held at the air station Gwalior, India. Exercise has evolved to incorporate subject matter expert exchanges, air mobility training, airdrop training, and large force exercises in addition to fighter training exercises. The exercise showcased US and India's efforts and commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific region. Fine. Then coming to the question, discuss the significance and potential environmental risk associated with the deep sea mining projects. Deep sea bed mining is a potential commercial industry that is attempting to mine mineral deposits from the sea floor in the hope of extracting commercially valuable minerals such as manganese, copper, cobalt, zinc, and rare earth metals from rock called polymetallic nodules. The deep sea bed is the seabed at ocean depths greater than 200 meters and covers about two-thirds of the total seafloor. However, researchers have also flagged widespread concern about the impact of deep sea mining on marine ecosystems, habitat, and biodiversity. Significance of the deep sea mining source from the clean energy. The deep sea environment holds a wealth of minerals such as manganese, cobalt, copper, and nickel, which could be used for rapidly growing renewable energy technologies, including solar panels, wind turbines, and electric vehicle batteries. Can help in meeting rising global demand for critical minerals. Experts expect the global metal and mineral market to have a compound annual growth rate of more than 8% between now and 2026 as the energy transition accelerates. Given the rising demand for metals and minerals, there has been a greater push for deep sea mining to meet these demands. Deep sea mining is advantageous over land-based mining. Deep sea mineral extraction may have some economic and environmental advantages over its land-based counterpart. There is no use or pollution of freshwater sources, limited or no effect on local community, and metal grades and quantities are often higher than terrestrial ores. Application in various sectors. The mineral extracted from the deep sea mining have applications in diverse sectors such as transportation, defense, aerospace, electronics, energy, construction, and healthcare. Important for technological innovation. Several technological innovations are expected to drive innovation in metals over the next decades, such as from 3D printing to artificial intelligence and big data analysis. Potential environmental risk associated with the deep sea mining projects. The negative impact of sediment plumps are caused when the tailing from the mining, usually the fine particles, are dumped back into the ocean, creating a cloud of particles floating in the water. The floating particles increases the turbidity or cloudiness of the water, clogging filter feeding apparatuses used by the benthic organisms. Impact on marine life. On the abysmal plain, sucking of nodules would involve the destruction of the seabed, leading to the potential extinction of species. The polymetallic nodules themselves support complex ecosystem which would be lost. A rare species called the scaly foot snail, also known as the sea pangolin, has become the first species to be threatened because of the deep seabed mining. Disturbances of the seafloor. Sediment of the seafloor accumulates at a rare or at 1 millimeter a millennium, meaning that areas disturbed by mining could take a very long time to recover. This could have a significant biological impact. Noise pollution. Deep seabed mining efforts will increase ambient noise in the normally quiet pelagic environments. Anthropogenic noise is known to affect deep sea fishes, species, and marine mammals. But when the mining will be undertaken there, this may create the noise level and may affect many creatures there. Light pollution. The area where deep sea mining may take place are normally devoid of sunlight and anthropogenic light sources. Mining efforts employing floodlighting could drastically increase light levels. Previous studies show that deep sea shrimp found at the hydrothermal vent suffered permanent retinal damage when exposed to floodlights. So the creatures inside the deep sea will be severely affected by the light impact event. Under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, the deep sea and its mineral resources are the common heritage of mankind. Therefore, they must be managed on behalf of and in the interest of humanity, including the sharing of economic benefits, support for marine scientific research, and effective protection of the marine environment. But man, in its greediness, in its search for resources beyond, started so exploring, and right now that deep seabed mining is becoming the new option opening for it, and this will definitely going to affect the life in future. Okay. the MCQs with reference to exercise COPE India consider the following: the bilateral joint exercise with Indian Air Force and United States Air Force. Okay, so it is correct. COPE India began in 2004. The fighter training exercise is right. Okay, this exercise conducted every year since 2004. Okay, so this is incorrect. So only three is incorrect. So right option is D. Okay, both are correct. One and two are correct. So only three is incorrect. So the question. So D option is the right answer. Reference to Malabar naval exercise. Consider the following. The exercise started as a bilateral exercise between India and the United States. India-US bilateral Malabar naval exercise became trilateral, that is in Japan in 2015. So here 1 and 2 are correct. Both 1 and 2 are correct. The answer is C. With reference to AMOG 3, consider the following. AMOG 3 anti-tank guided missile boost a fire and forget capability requiring no external intervention following the launch. The missile can be fired in the luck on before launch mode. It is an anti-armor tandem warhead, can penetrate in excess of 650 millimeter beyond explosive reactive armor. Okay. Question number 3. So both 1 to 3, all the 3 are correct. Then coming to question number 4, with respect to Organization for the Petroleum Exporting Countries Plus, consider the following statement: the non-OPEC countries with export crude oil are termed as OPEC Plus countries. Fine. So that is correct. Okay. So then the headquarter of OPEC is Vienna in Austria. That is right. India is member of OPEC. No, India is not a member of the OPEC Plus country. India is not. So 1 and 2 are correct. Answer is B. Then, with the advantages of the de-dollarization, country can reduce their dependence on the US dollar and the US economy. Country can reduce their exposure to currency fluctuations and interest rate exchanges. Okay, so then country can increase trade and investment with other country that may not have a strong relationship with the US. That is right. And four, countries can reduce the influence of US monetary policy on their own economy. Option 1, 2, 3, 4. So D, all are correct. With reference to tiger reserve in India, consider the following statement. The aim to conserve both the habitat and the prey base of the tiger. Okay, right. Okay. Bandipur Tiger Reserve established 73 under the Project Tiger, right? Project Tiger aims for in situ conservation of the wild tigers in their own natural habitat. There is also right. Okay, not in the zoo, but in the forest itself. So 1, 2, 3 are correct. So D is the right option. Then the following statement about the security transaction tax. The point of incidence and the impact of the security tax is not the same. Okay, so this is not correct. Okay, the government security are exempted from the security transaction tax. That is correct. So only two is correct. Answer is B. Then comes the following statement refers to public interest litigation. Okay. So public interest litigation purely based on newspaper reports are maintainable in the courts. PIL need not be filled by the aggrieved party only. Okay. So anyone can file the case. Public litigation purely based on newspaper reports or maintenance in court. So it's incorrect. PIL need not be filed by agreed party only. Anyone can file on their behalf. That is right. One is incorrect, two is correct. PIL can help develop the law by giving judges the opportunity to interpret legislation. That is also correct. Both 2 and 3 are correct. So answer is B. With reference to PM Sonidhi scheme, consider the following statement. The launch by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, PM Sonidhi, yes. So that is what? Okay. The National Bank for Agricultural Development is the implementing agency. This is incorrect. It is all the commercial banks. Fine. So Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. Pobitora is in Assam. Okay, so this is located in Assam. Fine. Consider the following statement on wheat cultivation in India. It is known as golden fiber. Wheat is golden fiber? No. Jute is golden fiber. It requires moderate temperature and rainfall in the growing season. That is correct. It thrives best in the black soil, right? India is the grown in the winter season. Okay. So the three is incorrect, not in black soil. Black soil is more suitable for the cotton cultivation. In India, it is grown in the winter season, winter crop. It is a winter crop. So 2 and 4 are correct. So D is the right option for this. Okay. So keep on watching every day. So to update yourself on the development. Thank you for watching.